Okay, good morning class. Today we will start with the topic, the Indian Judiciary. The Indian Judiciary. Okay. It's a very important topic from the APC point of view. Our NPC examination is coming very soon. We are expecting the vacancy, just like the advertisement, either tomorrow or Monday to Tuesday next week. So one more thing, one more information. We are going to start with a new batch in the month of October 2nd week. We just 20k. Okay, 20,000. This 20,000. This is a 10-month year course. Okay, it's a 10-month course till August next year. From October this year to August next year. It's going to be a 10-month course in BC and SSP together. Okay, it's an integrated course which will go for 10 months, starting from October 2nd week till next year August. So it is going to be the last page for this year, 2024, and our main target is next year. And if you also are very serious, you have already started, and if you want to just come for crash course also, it is applicable. Okay, you can come from next week, October 2nd week. So this with 20k, you're going to get whole syllabus in BC and SSP together, along with free materials, complete materials. So just the last page. If you really want to come, we will start with the October 2nd week. October 2nd week is the day where we are going to start with this NBC and SSP, NBAC and SSP. This will be the last courses for this year. So please remember, only 20k. And remember, 20k means you can pay 2,000 per month. Only 2,000 per month for 10 months. And this will give you the whole, just like syllabus. Okay, starting from NBC to NSSP. So it is our school, the coaching center, NBC and NSSP, the school of NBC. You see, our coaching center, the school of NBC and NSSP. It is the most approachable and just like affordable coaching center in the state of Nagaland as of now. With just 20k, you are going to receive 10 months courses, lifetime. Suppose this year you join the coaching, next year you are able to crack the exam, come for another year. Okay, come for another year. No harm, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, till you crack this exam, because it's a journey. In preparation of NPC, it's a journey. It is not just 1 year or 6 months. No, it's a journey. It's a lifelong journey. So please remember, you might crack the first exam, you might take for 3 years, 5 years. No harm. Please come, share your doubts. That is why it is been named school. Why our coaching center has been named as a school? Because of this reason. Which means, just like you start from class A, right? You will start from basic. You should be like a child for 1 year to practice exam. School means you learn everything in basic from the word zero. From 0 to 100, A to Z. Alright, you might be weak in maths, you might be weak in Indian polity, you might be weak in history, you might be weak in Nagaland, or you might be weak in geography, or you might be weak in English. So English, computer, maths, alright. Political science are conceptual. You need conceptual understanding, which means it is not all about completing the syllabus. No, this is not all about keeping 4 months, 6 months crash course. No, that is not the way. You should be able to teach the aspirant from the word zero. Alright. So that is why so far our first batch 31 students have almost we have already started the first batch and second batch is also started. So this will be the last batch. If you are really want to grab this opportunity with just 20K for a year, come and join the school of NPC and SSP and try to crack this toughest examination in the state. Thank you. Okay, today topic is going to be Indian Judiciary. Alright, Indian Judiciary. Supreme Court, High Court, District Court, and the Subordinate Court. Okay, today's topic for NPC is Indian Judiciary. Judiciary means we are going to deal something with the judge. Okay, District Judge, High Court Judge, Supreme Court in the lower court. So see, our Indian judiciary is very much is very much organized on a clear hierarchy. That means every lower organ is controlled under by the higher organ. So remember, there is a Supreme Court in Delhi, the highest court, that is what is known as the Supreme Court. And below the Supreme Court we have the High Court. High Court is in every Indian state. Okay, every Indian state can have a High Court. And next is, below that we have a District Court. Okay, District Court. Below the High Court, in every Indian districts, we will have a District Court. And in the subdivision, we will have a Subordinate Court. So, this is the hierarchy. Okay, Indian Judiciary, it is all about the Supreme Court, High Court, District Court, and the Subordinate Court. See, from NPC point of view, their main focus is going to be the Supreme Court and High Court, but not the District Court and the Subordinate Court. District Court, Subordinate Court will never come. But remember, just basic introduction, we will just see with the District and the Subordinate Court in the low, just like at the end of the day. But first, we are going to focus on Supreme Court and High Court. Okay, so let's see the procedure, history, no? See, if you see the Indian court, it is both integrated and somehow independent judiciary. Which means, integrated means the Supreme Court is there at the top. Everyone has to work under the Supreme Court. There is a District Court, there is a High Court, okay, but no, everything you have to take the orders from the highest court. That is known as the Supreme Court. That is why the Indian judiciary is integrated, which means you have to work under and abide by the decisions of the higher court. But when I say independent judiciary, independent means you're given the freedom, right? Independent means you can go anywhere. Like that, Supreme Court will also enjoy powers in the New Delhi, whereas High Court will also enjoy its power in every Indian state. They can give you judgment, okay, they can give you punishment. So High Court can give judgment in every Indian state. That means they are also independent, no difference. District Court also the same. In the District Court will give the judgment, okay, so they are enjoying. It is almost independent. Like that, independent judiciary means every court is independent in their own jurisdiction. That means in their own areas. District Court is independent in their own district. High Court is independent in their own states. Supreme Court is independent in the government of India. That means it is center. So Indian judiciary is both integrated and independent. Sometimes it is integrated, which means from the lower court you can just come to the high court directly. Okay, so sometimes independently the district court will give their own judgment and you have to settle there. That's all. That's all. That's all. So today we will first start with the highest court in India, that is the Supreme Court. Okay, our first discussion is going to be the Supreme Court. Remember, okay, Supreme Court is the highest court in India. Today we are going to discuss about the topic is the Supreme Court. When was it established? In which year? How does it get into force? Remember, the Supreme Court was established by the government of India in 1935. This is too important. They are all together. Indian judiciary has been adopted from the government of the India Act 1935. That means before we got independent. Alright. 28 January 1950. Remember the date. Remember the date. On 28 January 1950, the Supreme Court was established in India under the government of the India Act 1935. This is too important. Remember, government of the India Act 1935 acted as the constitution of India. In fact, two-thirds of the features of the Indian Constitution. In fact, two-thirds of the features of the Indian Constitution. In fact, two-thirds of the features of the Indian Constitution was borrowed from the government of the India Act 1935. So Indian judiciary was also borrowed from this act. So today, let's discuss about the Supreme Court. How it is established, how it functions. Who can be a judge of the Supreme Court? What is the qualification? Or what is the purpose of having a Supreme Court? What is the reason why we have a Supreme Court in India? So let's discuss the topic today. The topic is Supreme Court. Let's discuss. Our topic is Supreme Court. Now today I'm going to discuss about who can become a judge of the Supreme Court, or what is the standard. Remember, we can have 34 judges of the Supreme Court, including the Chief Justice. The maximum strength of the Supreme Court can be 34 judges. Remember this is too important. Remember? Now, remember, who can be appointed as a judge of the Supreme Court? Number one is obviously you should be a genuine original citizens of India to become a judge of the Supreme Court. Next is you should be eligible. You should have worked as a judge of a high court for 5 years. To become a judge of a Supreme Court is the highest post in India in the field of judiciary. So remember, you should have worked for at least 5 years. You should have at least worked for 5 years to become a judge of a Supreme Court. 5 years as a judge of a high court. It's very important. You should first work as a judge of a high court for 5 years. Only then you can become a judge of a Supreme Court. Number 3. See, next qualification, you should be a distinguished Jewish in the eyes of the president. What is this distinguished Jewish? Distinguished Jewish means you should be the president of India should feel like you are a very expert in the field of law. This is important. The president of India should recognize you that you are very expert in the field of law, which means a distinguished Jewish in the eyes of the president. The president of India should know that you are very expert in the field of law. Only then you will be appointed as a judge of the Supreme Court. Last thing. See, advocate is a bit in the rank. Advocate is smaller than the high court. Okay, so you should have worked as an advocate for 10 years. You should have worked as an advocate of a high court for 10 years. Only then, with only this qualification, you can be appointed as a judge of a Supreme Court. Too important. And once appointed, you will serve for 65 years. It is the President of India who appoints the judges of the Supreme Court. It is the President who appoints the judges of the Supreme Court. Okay. So remember, once the President appoints you, you will serve till 65 years. Okay. And this is what we mean by the qualifications of the Indian Judiciary. The Indian Judiciary. This is too important, the Indian Judiciary. So, remember, firstly, to appoint you as a judge of a Supreme Court, you should be citizens of India, should be a distinguished Jewish in the eyes of the President. You should have been a judge of a high court for 5 years, and you should be an advocate of a high court for at least 10 years. This is the qualification which will make you to become a Supreme Court judge. So this is all the qualifications to become a judge of a Supreme Court. Now let's see. Oh, we all know it is the highest court of the bill. Supreme Court is the highest level. You have so many prestige. One, you will get a salary, and your office is almost everybody respect you. No person can go against the judge of the Supreme Court. This is too important. If the Supreme Court gives you a judgment, it is final. It is final. No person in India can go against the decisions of the Indian Judiciary. Okay, the Supreme Court. No. Even the President, even the Prime Minister, no. If the court gives you a judgment, that is final. Supreme Court decision is final and binding in all the courts in every part of the country. This you have to remember. But remember, we all know, no person is above the Constitution. Okay, so even the judge can be removed. This is too important. If the judge violates the Constitution, he or she can be removed. So let's see under what conditions the judge of the Supreme Court can be removed. Alright. Remember, the Indian Supreme Court judges can be removed by the President through a process of impeachment. Yes, the President can remove the judges of the Supreme Court. However, after only a joint interest in both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, supported by 2/3 majority. Remember, as I've been telling you, it is very hard to remove a constitutional clause. If you want to remove a constitutional clause, we need the support of 2/3 majority, both in the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Equal powers, okay? both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha have equal powers to remove the judges. So see, it is like this. Suppose you are a member of Rajya Sabha. Take the example, Banglang Gongyak. Okay, the lone Rajya Sabha member from Nagaland in the Parliament of India. You want to introduce the impeachment resolution in the Rajya Sabha to remove the judge. Okay, you can do that. So, if you want to introduce it, you should get a support of at least 50 members. Okay. If you want to remove the judges of the Supreme Court, you should get a support of at least 50 members in the Rajya Sabha. This is too important. In the Lok Sabha, you should get a support of at least 100 members. Please write it down. Okay, you have to memorize this one. If you want to introduce the impeachment resolution in the Lok Sabha to remove the judge of the Supreme Court, you should get a support of 100 members. In the Rajya Sabha, 50 members. Only then. Now see, if you want to introduce the impeachment resolution in the Lok Sabha, you will take the permissions of the Speaker. Too important. In the Rajya Sabha, if you want to introduce, take the permissions of the Chairman. Okay. Now there was a question in UPSC IAS exam. Lok Sabha Speaker, Rajya Sabha Speaker, can they say no to introduce this impeachment? Yes, absolute power. Sometimes the Speaker said no, I will not allow you to introduce this impeachment resolution. Okay, so it is possible. The Rajya Sabha Chairman, Lok Sabha Speaker can reject to introduce this resolution. Please remember this topic. Okay, it is very much important. Next, same way, Supreme Court and High Court. Same thing. To remove the High Court and Supreme Court, we need the same resolution. The procedure is same. Remember, okay, High Court is there in every Indian state, but to remove the High Court judges, Supreme Court judges, the impeachment is same. If you want to remove the High Court judge, same in the Parliament. It is only the Parliament who can introduce the impeachment resolution, and officially, it is the President who removes the judges of the High Court and Supreme Court. So now today, my topic for today is, in what conditions? The Constitution is, if you violate the Constitution, you're going to be impeached. You're going to be removed. No person is above the Constitution. Okay? No person is above the Constitution. Every one of us are under a Constitution. So, if I might be the Chief Justice of India, but no, if I violate the Constitution, I can be removed. So, see, resolution is in the Lok Sabha. You take the permissions of the Speaker, you introduce it. And if the Speaker says yes, now the Speaker will constitute a committee. 3 members committee. 3 members committee. Only 3 members committee. Okay. Only 3 members committee. Only 3 members committee. You're going to set up. And in that 3 members committee, the members should be Chief Supreme Court Judge, High Court Judge, and a distinguished judge. These 3 committee, alright, will consist of a Supreme Court Judge, a High Court Judge, and the last is a distinguished judge in the eyes of the President of India. Okay, and these three committee will see whether that judge is deserved to be removed or not. And if they say yes, now the impeachment resolution is going to be introduced in both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. They have to pass the resolution supported by 2/3 majority. And if it is passed, we will give to the President, and the President will officially declare that particular judge as removed. So remember, this is a very long process. Fortunately, in India, no judge has been removed. Fortunately, in India, no judge has been removed. So this is very important. Remember, if the Rajya Sabha chairman say yes, introduce it, now he will form a committee to remove the judges. 3 committees will, I can see it, whether that particular judge deserves to be removed or not. And in that 3 person, who are 3 person? First is, it should consist of one Supreme Court judge, one High Court judge, and one distinguished jurist in the eyes of the president. Three committees, three members committees. After that, the judge is going to be, the impeachment resolution is going to be introduced in both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. If it is passed by both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, it will be considered as removed. So remember, fortunately in India, so far, no judge has been removed. Fortunately in India, no judge has been removed. So this is too important. This is a very important one. Okay, it's too important. This is too important. Powers and functions of the Supreme Court. Okay, today we are going to discuss about the powers and functions of the Supreme Court. It's a very important topic. The powers and functions of the Supreme Court are very much important. So we will first start with the original jurisdiction. So many powers are here. So the first power is known as the one thing you have to remember, original jurisdiction means a case which originates in the Supreme Court directly. It is known as original jurisdiction. Original jurisdiction means a case which only originates directly only in the Supreme Court, not through an appeal. Okay, you are not satisfied with the High Court, you come to the Supreme Court. That is there, but that is not. Here it is not. Only a case which originates directly in the Supreme Court is known as the original jurisdiction. So let's see what kind of a case is that. This is the only cases which is known as the original jurisdictions of the Supreme Court. A case which occurred between senator in one state. Take the example. Nagaland and Government of India is having a case. If the Government of India is having a case with Nagaland, that case can be settled only by the Supreme Court directly. That is known as original jurisdiction. Second cases, between two or more states. Okay. Take the example, Tsukuveli. Tsukuveli is land disputes going on between Manipur and Nagaland. Two states, right? So in that condition, everybody will try to claim that it is fine. So these kind of cases can be settled by the Supreme Court directly between two or more states. Take the example, Sukhumvit. Sukhumvit is dispute between Manipur and Nagaland. So this, when we have a case between two states, this can be settled by only by the Supreme Court directly. That is one's original jurisdiction. Last one more. Between center and one state on one side. Suppose the government of India and Nagaland is fighting with Assam and Arunachal Pradesh over a land. That means on one side there is government of India and Nagaland claiming an area, whereas Assam and Arunachal Pradesh is also claiming that particular area. So this kind of two more states in the government of India issue can be settled only by the Supreme Court directly, which is known as the original jurisdiction. So this is the only cases which you have to remember, memorize for the Supreme Court original jurisdiction. This is known as the original jurisdiction. So this is too important, you have to remember it. And now let's go to the appellate jurisdiction. Appellate means you are not satisfied with the judgment. That's all. Suppose High Court has given you a judgment. Okay. High Court has given you a judgment that okay, this person will stay for 10 years in jail. You feel like no, that is too harsh. You feel like that is too harsh. Okay, in that conditions, you can appeal. You can appeal to the Supreme Court, higher court again. That is known as appellate jurisdiction. In short, going against the decisions of lower court to the higher court is known as appellate jurisdiction. That means when you are not satisfied with the lower court judgment, you come to the high court. That is possible. You are not satisfied. Yes. You are not satisfied with the judgment of a lower court, so you can appeal to the higher court. It is known as which means it is appellate. Appellate jurisdiction is you are not satisfied with the judgment of the lower court, so against that you go to the higher court for another appeal. It is known as appellate jurisdiction. So let's see appellate jurisdiction in civil cases, criminal cases, constitutional cases. When I say civil cases, it is all about diverse land issue, property issue, yes, or just like it's a civil cases. You take example of you have a land dispute in Dimapur, okay, with your neighbors. You have a land dispute. That is known as civil cases. When I say criminal cases, it's all about kidnapping cases, murder cases, you know. It's known as criminal cases. If you murder someone, it's a criminal cases. Yes. So we all know you can go to the first high court, but you're not satisfied. So you come to the Supreme Court. This is important in criminal cases. Obviously, criminal case is a murder case. If you murder someone, high court said, okay, hang this person. The high court has given a judgment, hang Mr. A on that particular day. So no, you are not satisfied. No, I want to appeal more. I want to be hanged tomorrow or the next day. I will further appeal to the high court. So Okay, you come to the Supreme Court. That is known as appellate jurisdiction in criminal cases. You can. Civil cases, okay. The High Court give you, okay, pay compensation. It's a family court. Okay, suppose it's a diverse issue. Okay, you have to give your ex-wife 50 lakhs. You feel like, oh, that is too much. I won't be able to give 50 lakhs. So you come to the Supreme Court again as an appeal. In that conditions, you can come. Constitutional cases means regarding the interpretations of the Constitution of India. Suppose you feel like constitutional cases means sometimes we came across, is this the constitutional cases? Is this the constitutional amendment? In that conditions, the High Court is also given a judgment. You are not satisfied. So you come to the High Court. You come to the higher court, that is the Supreme Court. If the High Court is unable to give you has given a judgment in constitutional cases, but you are not satisfied, you come directly to the Supreme Court through an appeal. In that cases again, regarding the interpretation of the Indian Constitution, it's constitutional cases means something to do with the just the explanation of the Indian Constitution. Okay, some constitutional disputes, might be constitutional amendment disputes to change the constitution and law. In these cases, you can come to the Supreme Court through an appeal in the High Court. High Court can also give a judgment, but you are not satisfied. Come to the Supreme Court directly. So these are known as the appellate jurisdiction of the Supreme Court in India. Appellate jurisdiction is nothing but you go to the higher court for further remedies. Okay, lower court has given you a judgment. You are not satisfied. Come to the higher court through appellate jurisdiction means you can go against the decision of the lower court to the higher court for a better one, for a better judgment. So that's the reason you see murder case. Okay, the president said this person is going to be hanged tomorrow, but that person again come to the Supreme Court. The High Court has given a judgment, but no, I will go to the Supreme Court because I need mercy. So you can come through the appellate jurisdiction. So this is where the Supreme Court is going to differ in India. Okay, this is the reason why they are considered as the guardians of the Indian Constitution. The Supreme Court is considered the guardians of the Indian Constitution. That means it protects the people of India in general, the Constitution in general, the peoples in general. Every person in India is under the judiciary. Okay, they will protect you. They will give you a final judgment. Okay, they are there to protect you anytime, every time. One absolute power of the Supreme Court, appealed by special leave. Article 136 of the Indian Constitution. What is this Article 136 of the Indian Constitution? Appealed by special leave means, suppose anywhere in India, we have 28 states and 9 union territories. We have 9 union territories and we have 28 states in India. See, here, suppose anywhere in India, the High Court is giving a judgment. The High Court is giving a judgment. The High Court is giving a judgment or taking a case. In that conditions, the Supreme Court can directly, okay, pass that case to me immediately now. Absolute power. Anywhere in India, suppose a case is being taken, suppose Maharashtra, Rajasthan over an issue, any issue, civil cases, criminal cases, directly the Supreme Court will say, bring that case to me under Article 136 of the Indian Constitution. I will settle it because I am the Supreme. Appealed by special leave means Article 136 of the Indian Constitution. The Supreme Court can directly interfere in any cases in India and settle the case. That is known as appealed by special leave. So another one more special and absolute power of the Supreme Court. Next is advisory jurisdiction. Advisory jurisdiction means the President of India. We all know we have a President in India, and the President might not be well versed in Indian judiciary. Yes, because he is a generalized person. Any person can be appointed as the President. So if the President wants an advice on any issue, any time, any issues in India, suppose the President is going to give a judgment. So in any issues, he might refer to the Supreme Court anytime. Okay, give me an advice in this particular manner. So the Supreme Court is anytime there again to President to help him in any judgments, in any case in India. So another power, advisory jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. Under Article 143 of the Indian Constitution, please remember, Article 143 of the Indian Constitution says that the Supreme Court can give an advice to the President anytime on any issues. On any issues. Okay, so another power of the Supreme Court. But remember, this advice is not binding the President of India. If the President can say, okay, yes or no, in this case, okay, even though you advise it, he can say yes or no, yes or no. Superintendence over subordinate courts. Okay. Superintendence over subordinate courts. Superintendence over subordinate courts. Every court in India, high court, district court, subordinate court, all functions under the Supreme Court. Absolute power. Anytime the Supreme Court can give you orders. You have to follow this, you have to follow this. You have to follow, or else you're going to be dismissed anytime. So absolute power of the Supreme Court. Supreme Court has control over all the Indian courts in India. That is known as superintendence over subordinate courts. Every court functions under the direction, control of the Supreme Court in India. That's why it is known as the final interpreter of the Indian Constitution, guardians of the Indian Constitution, and the Supreme Court protector of the fundamental rights as well as the people in general. Supreme Court. Power of judicial review and court of report. Okay. Power of judicial review and court of record. Power of judicial review means suppose the parliament, suppose the parliament of India makes a law. But if that law is against the Constitution, that law is to be considered as null and void by the Supreme Court through the power of judicial review. Remember, judicial review means the power of the Supreme Court to review the judgment of the Parliament with regard to passing the law. The Parliament can pass any type of law in India. But remember, the Parliament is also not above the Constitution. If you pass a law which is against the Constitution of India, that law will never be enforced in India because it is going to be null and void. That means it is going to be cancelled anytime by the Supreme Court through the power of judicial review. That means the judiciary can anytime review any judgments of the Parliament of India. Through the power of judicial review means any law passed by the Parliament, anytime it is going to be observed, analyzed, studied by the judiciary. And if that law is considered as illegal, unconstitutional, that law is immediately going to be cancelled. It will never come into force. Because the judicial review is the absolute power of the Supreme Court. They will cancel the law. So in that conditions, that particular will never have laws in India. So this is so important. Power of judicial review means absolute power of the Supreme Court to declare any law passed by the Parliament as unconstitutional if it is against the Constitution of India. Okay, last point is court of record. Yes, the Supreme Court, being the highest court, is the court of record, which means any judgment, whatever they give today, they will record it. Suppose a case has been taken in the year 1970, again they can brought back today in the year 2024, anytime. That means anytime for proven to prove something. Okay, they will give the judgment and they will record it. We will stop here. Okay, this is all about Indian judiciary, the Supreme Court. So Supreme Court is nothing but all about this one. Original jurisdiction, appellate jurisdiction, in constitutional cases, civil cases, criminal cases, power of superintendence over all the court in India. Okay, last one more power, last one more power, last one more power, last one more power, last one more power. Read jurisdiction. Okay. Writ means a law, okay? It means a law. So, writ jurisdiction means the parliament, that is the Supreme Court, that is the Supreme Court can issue any writs anytime for the enforcement of fundamental rights. Remember, there is a question in MDC. If your fundamental right is violated, which court you will appeal first? District Court, High Court, Supreme Court? The answer is simple. If your fundamental right is violated, you can either approach High Court or Supreme Court directly. Okay, not through an appeal. No, you come directly, either to the Supreme Court or High Court. That is why it is there. The Supreme Court can issue writs, which means the law for the enforcement of fundamental rights anytime. Habas, Gorbas, Mantamas, Yuvarando, Judiciary, Prohibit. These are all writs, which means the law for enforcement of fundamental rights. So, this is so important. Yes, the Supreme Court can issue writs anytime for enforcement of fundamental rights in India. Okay, that is what we mean by the issuement of writs. So, under this, we came across the end of the Supreme Court. Remember, Supreme Court, the Supreme means absolute power. Any court will have to take the decisions of the Supreme Court. No person, not the president, not the prime minister, not the judges, not the governor, not the president, not the army chief, no person can go against the court of the Supreme Court, because it is the highest court in India, and their headquarters, the headquarters of the Indian judiciary is in New Delhi. Okay, the Supreme Court headquarters is in New Delhi, but anytime they can sit. The case is going to be taken in the Supreme Court, but anytime they can sit anywhere. If they want to come and sit in Nagaland, possible, Assam, possible, anytime they can sit. So they have an absolute power. They have an absolute power. So with this, we have come across the end of the Indian judiciary with regard to the Supreme Court. So next, a smaller with the Supreme Court is the High Court. So again, now we will discuss the topic known as the High Court in India. Okay, the topic for now is going to be the High Court in India. Okay, today our topic is going to be the powers and functions of the High Court. Powers and functions of the High Court. Remember, we are going to discuss about the topic known as powers and functions of the High Court. Remember, remember High Court? Okay. Anyway, you can establish High Court anywhere in India. Okay, every Indian states can have a High Court. Unfortunately, in Nagaland, we don't have a High Court. We share the common High Court with Assam. But if you go to Rajasthan, Gujarat, or Andhra Pradesh, every Indian state will have a High Court. They can have, no harm. You can have your High Court. So remember, High Court is there in every Indian state. Okay, so at one High Court is going to be there in one state. High Court is the highest court in a state. Remember, there will be a common High Court, just like Assam and Nagaland. It is possible. There can be a common High Court, joint High Court. Just like Nagaland, we don't have High Court. So we are happy sharing with the Assam's government. So this you have to remember. So today we will discuss about, let us first see. I talk about the impeachment. They can be removed. Okay, so now let's see who appoints the High Court. Now what is the qualification? Who can be a judge of the High Court? Remember, number one. If you want to become a judge of a High Court, first is you should be a citizen of India. You should first become a citizen of India. Okay. If you are a citizen of India, you can become a judge of the High Court. Secondly, you should have served as an advocate of a High Court for at least 10 years. Second qualification is you should have been elected, you should have been served as an advocate of a High Court for 10 years. Next is you should have served in the judicial service for at least 10 years. Two qualifications, as an advocate of a High Court for 10 years. Last is, you should have served in the judicial service for 10 years in a state. So this is the minimum qualification that you should be here to be appointed as a judge of a High Court. So please remember, this is too important. This is going to be very much influential in your competitive examination. Often asked, Indian judiciary is too important from the NPSC point of view. Okay, so this is known as the qualification, and you can serve for 62 years. Remember, a judge of a High Court will serve for 62 years. Remember, this is too important. And remember, in every High Court judge, there is going to be a Chief Justice of a High Court. Okay, and there can be a judges, and there can be a judges out there. There can be a judges out there. All right. Remember, every High Court is going to be headed by a Chief Justice of a High Court. Okay, Chief Justice of a High Court is going to be the head of that particular High Court, and below him there will be the judges. All these people are appointed by the Mr. President of India. It is only the President of India who appoints the judges of the High Court as well as the Chief Justice of the High Court. This is too important, remember, not by the governor, no, only Kasam. It is the President who appoints the judges of the High Court and judges of the High Court. Remember, this is the qualification. Remember, yes, they can be removed. These people can be removed before 62 years. Is there any provisions? Can these people, the judges, the highest court in the state, can they be removed? Absolutely. Remember, in India, no person is above the Constitution. The judge of the High Court or Chief Justice of that particular High Court can be removed through a process of impeachment. Yes, we all know it is only the Parliament who can impeach it is the Parliament who can impeach the judges of the High Court. Okay, through a process of impeachment. I didn't have discussed that. No more discussion out here. But remember, the impeachment resolution has to be introduced either in the Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. If you want to introduce the Lok Sabha, you should have a support of at least 100 members. In the Rajya Sabha, you should have a support of at least 50 members. And the committee, 3 members committee. The Speaker of the Lok Sabha can set up 3 members committee consisting of a Supreme Court judge, a Chief Justice of the High Court, and a distinguished jurist. 3 members. And if they say yes, you will introduce in the Lok Sabha and go to the Rajya Sabha. 2/3 majority. 2/3 majority is too important. Okay. 2/3 majority is too important. So this is how they can be removed before 5 years. So this is the reason why it is very hard to remove these people once they are appointed. So far, fortunately in India again, no judges has been removed. No judges has been removed so far in India as well as in every Indian states. No judges has been removed because the resolution is too hard. Remember, there will be a question in NBC. Who is more powerful to remove the judges of the High Court or Supreme Court? Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha? It is same. Absolute power of both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. If one passed the resolution, suppose Lok Sabha has passed the resolution supported by 2/3 majority, but if the Rajya Sabha says no, then no judge can be removed. So it is too hard to remove these people. No judge has been removed so far in India as of now. Okay, no judge has been removed. So with this, we have concluded the impeachment resolution. Now we will see the powers and functions of the High Court. What kind of a power they have? What kind of a power they have? The Supreme Court, the High Court in a state. So let's discuss today. We will see the powers and functions of the High Court today. Just like the Supreme Court, we will first see the original jurisdiction of the High Court. Original jurisdiction. Okay, original jurisdiction means only the cases which originates directly in the High Court, not through an appeal, is known as original jurisdiction of the High Court. There are some cases which only will come directly to the High Court and will be settled to the High Court. No more appeals. Directly to the High Court, you settle the case out there. It is known as original jurisdiction of the High Court. So let's see the original jurisdictions of the High Court. You see? Elections of Parliament and State Legislature. Okay. Elections of Parliament and State Legislature. Suppose if there is a cases with regard to the elections disputes, okay, contesting election and all, you come directly to the High Court will settle you directly. That is known as original jurisdiction. Next is admiralty. Admiralty means coastal. See, we all know there is we all know Suppose there is a marine dispute, okay? There are so many coastal states in India. We have around 9 coastal states in India. So if they have disputes over the ships, okay, the ships, these cases will also come directly to the High Court, and High Court will settle it. Next is standing of court. Okay, I have said from the very beginning, you can't go against the decisions of the judiciary. You can't insult the judiciary inside, outside the parliament, or anywhere in India. If you try to insult the judge, you are going to come under standing of court. You're going to be arrested. It's a huge punishment you're going to face. So, standing of court is also these cases it also comes to the High Court directly. Next is will in diversity. Will in diversity. That means will means suppose your father left some property when he dies. Now there is a dispute going on among your children, your siblings. Okay, the High Court will settle you directly. Divorce means okay, you want to divorce your wife, your husband, you can do it. But these cases will be settled by the High Court directly. Next is revenues. Anything deal with the revenue, okay, collections of taxes, will also come to the High Court directly. Next is enforcement of fundamental rights. Okay, enforcement of fundamental rights. Suppose your fundamental right is violated, come directly to the High Court. Not through someone, not through a district court. No, come directly to the High Court. High Court will settle for you. So these are some of the original jurisdiction which you have to memorize right in this point. Original jurisdiction means a case which directly originates in the High Court and settled by it directly is known as the original jurisdiction. Original jurisdiction. So we have come to the end of this topic, the original jurisdiction. Now we will see now the appellate jurisdiction. We will see the appellate jurisdiction now. Okay. Appellate jurisdiction and civil cases and criminal cases. Which means, as I've been telling you, if you are not satisfied with someone's judgment in the lower court, you come to the High Court. Okay, you are not satisfied. You are not satisfied with the lower court, come to the upper court. No harm, absolute power. So appellate jurisdiction means you are not satisfied with the lower court, so you come to the High Court. So in civil cases, criminal cases, we all know civil cases means something to do with property. Yes, something to deal with the pensions or land disputes. Yes, marriage and divorce and all. Yes. So these civil cases can be settled even by the district court. But if the district court judgment is too harsh, you are not satisfied with the district court judgment. Okay, you come to the High Court through appellate jurisdiction in civil cases. Criminal cases means, okay, murder case. Murder case, suppose obviously the district court can give a death sentence. Possible. The district court, firstly, if you murder someone in a subdivision, suppose you are from Kohima. So take the example. In Kohima, if you murder someone, Kohima is a district. Kohima is a district. So if there is a murder, you have murdered someone, immediately the Kohima district court will give you a death sentence. You're going to be hanged. But before you are hanged, you can appeal once more. It is possible. You can appeal to the High Court. Okay. In criminal cases, in that conditions, the High Court can reverse the judgment and can give you some mercy. It is very much possible. So this is too important. Not only from the MBC point of view, but in the criminal cases, yes, kidnapping cases, murder case, rape case and all, you come to the High Court once more if you're not satisfied with the district court. So in these cases, all these cases, the High Court can also give a judgment. And if you're not satisfied, go to the Supreme Court again. So appellate means going upper and upper because you're not satisfied. Appellate means going upper and upper, not lower. From lower to upper, you court. From this district to the high to the Supreme Court. Very much possible. In civil cases, criminal cases, very much possible. So these are known as the appellate jurisdictions of the High Court. Next thing. Power of superintendence and court of record. A power of superintendence means, suppose Nakulin is having a high court. All the district court, we have 16 districts. 16 districts will have a district court. In all this court, the High Court will give a judgment. Okay, give an order anytime because they have supreme control. The High Court has supreme control over the subordinate court. That means the district court. That's all. So they have absolute power again. Power of superintendent means they have the absolute power to give judgment and to have control. The High Court can control all the subordinate courts in that particular states. So another supreme power, court of record. Yes, High Court will give a judgment, and anytime they will give it for record for perpetual memory, everlasting memory, as well as to proof and evidence. Anytime they will give a record. Whatever has been recorded in 1970 can be brought back even to the 2024 if they want to show it. So it's a court of record. Power of superintendence over all the courts in that particular state. And last one more is power of judicial review. Yes, we all know the state legislature, that is the MLAs, MP Rio, Rio-led government in Nagaland can make so many laws. Rio can make so many laws because he is an elected legislature. He is a part of the state legislature. So Rio can make so many laws. But remember, if the state legislature of Nagaland makes a law which is against the constitution, that law is going to be declared as useless or void, emptiness, useless. That law is going to be declared as unconstitutional. That means it will never come into force. That means it can cancel. The High Court can cancel any law made by the state legislature if that particular law is against the Constitution of India. That means against the people in general. That will be considered as unconstitutional. That can be considered as unconstitutional. That is why it is too important. Any law which is made in the state legislature can be cancelled anytime by the state legislature through the power of judicial review if it is against the Constitution of India. So this is how we come to the conclusions that even the High Court has absolute power with regard to judicial review in any part of that particular states. So this is how the powers and functions of the High Court is discussed. One more absolute power. can issue writs for enforcement of fundamental rights. Okay. Or any other purpose. The High Court in any Indian state can issue writs for enforcement of fundamental rights anytime. As I've been telling you, if your fundamental right is violated, which court you will approach? If your fundamental right is violated, you can either appeal to the Supreme Court or High Court directly. So here also, but remember, there was a question in BC, which has High Court has more power or the Supreme Court has more power to issue writ? Your answer should be High Court, because High Court can issue writs not only for enforcement of fundamental rights, but also for other purpose. Okay, that is why High Court has more jurisdiction over the writs, not in any other purpose, but to issue writs. Writs means the law, right? Writs means the law. Okay, so the High Court can give a judgment anytime if that any law, the High Court can issue any writs for enforcement of fundamental rights anytime, and not only for the writs, any other purpose. Not only for enforcement of fundamental rights, but for any other purpose in India. That means the writ jurisdiction of the High Court is more powerful than any other courts in India. Because the Supreme Court can issue writs only for enforcement of fundamental rights, not for any other purpose. Not for any other purpose. So this, remember all this is too important. This is too important from a basic point of view. Remember, the Indian court is that way. Supreme Court, High Court, District Court, Subordinate Court. In the lowest level, we will have the Subordinate Court. One more thing you have to remember. NBC is very much concerned about the original jurisdictions of the Supreme Court and High Court. So let's see. Original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. Disputes between Senti and one more state, two or more states. And High Court original jurisdiction means the cutting of court, enforcement of fundamental rights, revenue matters, admiralty, will, diverse. Yes, matters related to the elections of the parliament, the state legislature. These are from us the original jurisdiction of the High Court. Remember, please memorize this. Only memorize the original jurisdiction of the High Court and Supreme Court, so that you will be able to distinguish between this. And remember, all these people, the judges of the Supreme Court, High Court, are directly appointed by the President of India, removed by the President of India, and can be removed through a process of impeachment or in the Parliament, or Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha have equal powers to remove these people. You know the resolution. If you want to introduce the impeachment resolution of the Lok Sabha, you should get a support of at least 100 members. In the Rajya Sabha, you should have support of at least 50 members. So remember, it is either the Speaker of the Lok Sabha can say yes, the Chairman of the Rajya Sabha can say no to remove these people. So this is another powers and functions. Today, Indian Judiciary is all about this one. Another we have is District Court and Subordinate Court. You see, in district court, in district we will have a district court. That means a district judge. In subdivision we will have subordinate court. Remember, in this will never ask this one, but remember, the district judges are appointed by the governor. Remember, okay. Just remember this one. The district court are appointed by the governor. And who can be appointed as a district court? He or she should be a pleader for 7 years. Okay. Pleader means he should have been practicing the High Court for at least 7 years. So all these people will be appointed as a judge of the district court by the governor. And remember, the district court can also has both. Just like even the district court can give you death sentence. Okay, it is possible. Can the district court give you a death sentence? Yes, possible. That means, remember, the district judge have both civil and criminal powers. That means when the district judge is taking a criminal case, he is known as citizen judge. Citizen judge means a district court who is giving a criminal judgment. Okay, in that condition he is going to be a citizen judge. But when he is known as a district judge, that means he is taking a civil case. When he comes to the court and he is going to take a civil case, he is known as the district judge. And remember, court of Monsi. The lowest court in India, in the subdivision, you will find in the civil cases, Court of Monsif. Court of Monsif is the lowest court in the civil cases you will ever find in India. Judicial magistrate is the lowest court in criminal cases you will ever find in the subdivision. So remember, which is the lowest court in India, which deals with the civil cases, Court of Monsif. The lowest court in India, which deals with criminal cases, is known as the junior judicial magistrate. We'll end up with this one. Okay, we'll end up with this problem. We'll end up with this problem. Well, this is the conditions. This is the process you have to come across. Okay, this is the process you have to come across in NBS exam. So remember, the highest court is Supreme Court, the lowest court is Court of Monsif, Court of Judicial Magistrate. So this is a very big topic you have come across today. From the NBC point of view, they are very much concerned about the Indian judiciary, and they will more focus on High Court and Supreme Court. So remember, let's start with a summary. The judges of the Supreme Court are appointed by the President and will serve till 65 years until unless they violate the Constitution. If they violate the Constitution, they can also be removed through a process of impeachment. Okay, through a process of impeachment, they can be removed. Next is the High Court judges are also appointed by the President of India only. After that, they can also be removed if they violate the Constitution. What about the district judge? The district judge are appointed by the governor of the particular states. And remember, on the civil side, in the civil cases, the highest court is the Court of Monsif. And on the criminal cases, criminal side, the lowest court is the Court of Junior Judicial Magistrate. So this is how we come to an end. Remember, the judges of the Supreme Court, High Court are having a handsome salaries. Remember one more point, the salaries of the High Court is given by the states of that particular state. But remember, the pensions of the High Court are given by the Government of India, by the Parliament of India. This is too important. The judges of the High Court are given a salary by the state government, but their pensions are given by the Parliament of India. That means the Government of India. The salaries of the Supreme Court are given by the Government of India. That is the Parliament of India. Remember this one. So with this we have come to conclusions. Remember the impeachment resolution. Okay, who can remove these judges? This is the Parliament of India. Who can remove these people through a process of impeachment? And this impeachment movement has to be passed in which house first? Either Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. But if you want to introduce the impeachment motions in the Lok Sabha, you should get a support of at least 100 members. In the Rajya Sabha, at least 50 members. This is how you can remove these people. Okay, it is very hard to remove, but you can remove these people. So with this, we have ended up the conclusions for Indian judiciary. Remember, judiciary plus 3 marks, 3 questions. You can expect this in NBC prelims. And we wish you all the best for the coming prelims. Thanks a lot, class.